NFL Week 14, here we come. Yeah. Man, it's already getting closer to the end of the season. It's about to be real sad here, depressing. Y'all know how it is when football leaves, and then you just like, I guess I'll read a book or something. Anyway, other than that sad news, we'll worry about it when we get there. But what we got is a slate of games this week that we gotta get through. And starting us off is the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Now, I think this has a good chance to be pretty darn good. I was like, thinking Bucks are able to win here, that I feel like they should be top of the division. That was like, I was like, I think the Falcons won the first one. Either way, I'm picking the Bucks here. That's what I'm doing. I was like, I feel like Atlanta has been getting through and by with the skin of their teeth the whole time. While I feel like the Bucks have sort of gotten back a little bit on rhythm and a little bit of how they're playing, and you don't know what Falcons you're gonna get much more than you don't know what Tampa Bay you're gonna get. I think that Mayfield and Evans have sort of got back on their connection a bit, whereas I like, even though they've won a couple games here, sort of, the Falcons sort of just been with Ritter that they just been getting by. So I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay this week. Colts and Bengals. Battle of the backups, I guess, with Browning versus Minshew. I was like, Minshew's had more of a season than Browning. But the way Browning played last Monday, you got to be optimistic about how he's going to be able to play with the Colts. Once I was like, and they got the win Monday, so I was like, I guess they're still technically still alive, even though Burrow. But I'm gonna go to Colts here. I feel like they're more on a roll than the Bengals, whereas like the Bengals could have lost that game a lot more. Don't get me wrong, the Colts went to overtime in order to win last week. But I'm just gonna go with Minshew mania in this situation. I feel like their team has been a lot more on consistent than sometimes with the Bengals. And the Bengals were doing some stupid things. I mean, that they could have been more ahead against Jacksonville. They would have stopped some of those wide receiver backward passes type of bull stuff. But I was like, that's what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Colts. Jaguars versus Browns. Who knows? I was like, with Lawrence not playing, I think they still have the better overall team than the Browns. But at the same time, I was like, Flacco might lead them to victory. Against CJ Beathard, I think I'm gonna choose the Browns. I'm gonna choose the Browns here. I don't think it's gonna be a pretty game. Yeah, I'm gonna choose the Browns. I just think their defense is just going to do a little bit better against Beathard than Jaguar defense against Flacco. I was like, the Jaguars have more weapons, I think. Than the Browns. But I don't know about Beathard. I was like, wasn't really great with the 49ers. He was okay. Flacco also too wasn't great either. I was just thinking that I'm like, okay, to me this is gonna be like, what defense is going to be able to give their team the shortest field in this game? I was like, now I'm about going back. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with Jacksonville just because I was like, now I'm thinking, I was like, I like their weapons a lot more. I'm like, if he get into the weapons, he can negate a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. Okay, Lions and Bears. I think this is going to be a pretty competitive game. It was last time until the very end, where pretty much they got that little sack and fumble return. And I was like, the Lions have been pretty good of getting up, but then letting the team come back. Even though with the Bears, they got ahead. I think the Lions win this go around, but I think it's sort of the same situation where they won't be able to get rid of the Bears until pretty much the end of the clock. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Lions are going to be on top and ahead in this time. Panthers and Saints. The Saints have been flunky. they always wait to score until like halfway through the third quarter and on. Luckily, they play the Panthers. This could be a low scoring game, but I don't have no faith in the Panthers at all at this point. I was like, I feel like if the Saints needed the game to sort of get themselves back on track or to make themselves feel good, stay within the division, this is the game to do it. Is against the Panthers. Rams and Ravens. I was like, I think this could be a shoot 'em out game, and then I think the Ravens are going to pull away. The Rams have been pretty good at this year, being competitive for a minute, and then I was like through defensive lapses or the offense is going too many 3-and-outs while the other team is able to keep on going. But I feel like the Ravens. I was like gonna be slow. I feel like coming out their bye week, but I think that they're pretty much it's gonna be close because the Rams and Stafford can always stay a little bit competitive, and then after that, it's a wrap. Ravens all day. Texas versus Jets. I was like, I don't think this would be an easy game for Stroud against the defense, but ain't nobody over here picking the Jets. Not the way they offer to play, not nothing that we're picking the Texans all day. They ain't no point. Get their asses in the playoffs. That's what I'm trying to say. Seahawks at 49ers. I'm going to pick the Seahawks here. I know. The 49ers just came out beating that ass of the Eagles. They're on a roll. The Seahawks have been a little bit in a slump. You know, but I was like, but they've been putting up points. They've been playing, and they just been in the game and haven't been. So I was like, if anybody can go toe-to-toe offensively, and I know the defense of the 49ers is really good, I was like, but I think it's just going to be an offensive game, and it's just going to be who is able to do it last. I think that's what it's going to be. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks and pull the upset. Then we got Vikings and Raiders. I was like, with this game is really a rooting interest. Antonio Pierce for the Raiders or Joshua Dobbs for Minnesota. I think I'm going to go with Joshua Dobbs for the Minnesota. I mean, I was like, we're talking about realism. I was like, it's probably going to be a low, close game. I was like, both of them, I think, coming off of buys or whatever. But neither one of them situated. Like Josh Dobbs, I was like, he's been good, but he also like came to the mean a little bit. But they still got a high power offense. I like they defense has been playing really good. I was like decent of late. I was like the Raiders, they've been a lot better since Pierce came around and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings here. I just think they got a little bit more. They got more talent to keep going on and keeping their little wild card spot. Bills and Chiefs. The game could go anywhere. I think the Bills are gonna win here. Neither offense has really been in a position to be spectacular. It's really just if the quarterback, and they both. We talk about Josh Allen, but nobody's really talked about Mahomes. And sometimes when he throws interceptions, I was like, you could talk about his receiving weapons and stuff like that, but sometimes he's throwing interceptions that's just like, that doesn't even matter about your receiving weapons or whatnot. But I know that I was like the defense of the Chiefs, but I think the defense of the Chiefs can also be had too, especially with the talent like Josh Allen, because he played like Mahomes, so I was like, a lot of his improv stuff I think will work against what the Chiefs do, even though I know it's like they play against Mahomes, they should know a little bit better. It's like, yeah, but it's different than when the improv is happening during the game. And I think because Mahomes options ain't that spectacular, the defense for the Bills aren't going to struggle as badly as they have in the last couple weeks. But I'm going to pick the Bills for kind of upset, I guess. We'll see. Broncos and Chargers. I don't even know what to say here, to be honest. Broncos, just because I feel like the Chargers been that bad, and the Chargers always find a way to do something dumb, whether it's the team or it's the coach. I was like, the Broncos been pretty all right in their little resurgence here lately. Last week at the Texans, Wilson threw 3 interceptions, but they still had a chance. So I'm just saying against the Chargers, and I'm like their defense been like poo. Even like they like Matt got a lot of sacks, but he really got those in like one game. So the defense hadn't been looking as great as what it sort of seems. Um, and for the night game, we have the Eagles and we have the Cowboys. Yes, finally a good night game. Uh, I think the Cowboys pull off. Yeah, I know everybody seems to be pulling the Cowboys, so it's also a little scary. And maybe it's about kicking the wounded eagle while it's down, but I think the Cowboys is going to get win here. I was like, I think the improvement the Cowboys have shown in the last few weeks, while the Eagles haven't shown any improvements on their end. Like AJ Brown has slowed down. I was like, their defense has still been a little bit slow, especially in the back end. While the Cowboys' offensive line has been better, here they have figured they got more out of. They know how to feed CeeDee Lamb more. They got more out of Brandon Cooks. They put a lot more speed on the field. Uh, Pollard, I was like they're at least committed with the running game with him and Dowling, Dow, and and they're I was like with the receiving threats, I was like they sort of gotten Gallup off the field and got more of I can't remember the two dudes' names, but also more importantly they got Ferguson, who was like I was like, they always sort of have a rotation of, every year that Dak's been there with the tight ends, but this has probably been the most athletic guy they've gotten. And he opened up the middle of the field in a way that I'm like, if their DBs have a problem with Cooks and CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson could take either advantage. And then they got the two dudes, can't think of his name. I was like, but that could take the top off on the defense as well too. And Dak has been playing a lot better. Where like Hurts been a little bit hurt, banged up, pun intended, and he also been a little bit, here lately as well too. So I'm gonna pick the Cowboy. Anyway, those are my picks. Lock them, dip them in gold. What you buy is what is sold. Anyway, that's week 14. I'll see you after this Sunday to see how it all goes. I'm out.